Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? Thanks for stopping by the channel, checking out this video. This video is going to be a time-lapse build of this mobile chicken coop. We do have egg layers in here. I built this for meat birds, but we needed a spot to put the egg layers, and I didn't have the time to build them a permanent coop. And my wife and I put this together in a day. Well, really a day and a half, just because we started later and then wrapped it up the next day. But you could build this style of coop in a day. So we built it in a day to put these chickens in here because they were getting too big for the brooder, and we needed to move them out, and I wanted to get them on grass. And again, I didn't have enough time to build them a permanent coop in the time frame that I needed to get them on grass. So we built this in a day. It's not perfect. There are some little imperfections here and there, but you know, we didn't build this with any plans. I didn't have any plans, any drawings, anything in mind other than I'd seen style of coops like this in the A-frame style, so I kind of knew what we were going to do, just not how to execute that. So I ripped all these boards down for weight reduction. So the bottom bracing here are basically 2x2s, and then everything else is, well, the A-frame trusses, so to speak, here are 1x2s, and then everything else is like 1x ½ inch. Because once we get the A-frame going, and we had 5 or 6 of these ridge caps here along the bottom brace. Once we ran once we ran these purlins, we had 3 on each side. Once we kind of ran those, and then I did cross bracing in the middle, I'll show you in a second, that gave it the rigidity I needed. So plus I wanted it to be lighter weight so we could drag this thing by hand and not have to use our tractor every time. So that's the reason for the weight reduction. Same thing here, I didn't go with metal roofing. I went with this plastic kind of composite style stuff, and that helped a lot with weight. We used ½ inch hardware cloth instead of chicken wire, just for predator purposes. This is actually really expensive. So if you don't have a lot of predators, you're not really worried about that, maybe just go with the standard chicken wire, and it'll save you some time and money, because I ended up buying 2 rolls of this. It was basically 50 bucks a roll. So this hardware cloth was really expensive. So just keep that in mind if you want to build this style of coop. We built this A-frame style of coop here because if we want to get in here with this doorway and everything, I can step straight in, no problem, and I can stand up in here. So that's why we wanted to go with this. I didn't want to be bending down or opening stuff and, you know, grabbing the food and the water and putting it in there like some of the smaller mobile chicken coops, which those are smaller and they have their purpose, and that's great. But we wanted ease of use for us. So especially when we're changing these out, I'll show you, we have these Premier 1 feeder and water, and just the way that we're doing it, I think, is more efficient for us, and it's easier than the other way. But again, this is a heavier version, and we did our best to minimize weight, but it's still heavy. Again, since we didn't have plans, and I didn't plan it ahead in time, when we built the square frame on the base, we don't have designated skids. So this rectangular base here, the whole thing is even and flush with the ground. So if you build this style, I would recommend making sure the ends, and maybe you could run one along the center as well, and make sure that is lower where it'll just slide easier, because this run on the back side, as you're pulling it with this, like just standard grass that you would see in any kind of farm, I don't know what kind of grass, crab grass or something, it gets hung. So when you're trying to drag it, the back will get hung on this grass and you can't really drag it. It's not, the weight is kind of heavy, but I can pick it up and I can pull it, but it gets hung on this grass. So just keep that in mind if you go on this style. I'll show you the final product. I'll show you the inside, and then we'll roll this clip into the time-lapse build. So the inside of this thing, again, like I mentioned, we ran these purlins along each A-frame, and I also braced them with cross braces. So those along with 3 on each side, and then I ran these cross diagonal braces on both sides, provided a lot of rigidity. And then I just kind of ran 3 vertical braces and 1 across to tie those in as well. And then we have these 2 cross braces coming here. This one in the middle I thought needed to be there for structural reasons, just to provide better rigidity so the whole rectangle didn't flex as it was moving on the ground. But I put another one in the back just because these are egg layers and I wanted them to be able to perch and whatnot, so they're not going to grow too big or too fast to get up on there and use them as roosting bars. So the feeder style that we have with the water and the feeder are these Premier. We bought these from Premier 1, and I bought 2 of each. And the way I kind of tackle this every day is, since this is tall enough for us to get in here and walk around, I will fill their feed and fill their water up and then bring them down here. And with these hooks, this waterer comes with this hook, and it comes with this adjustable string. So it's got this piece for adjusting here, so you can adjust it up and down based on how your chicks are growing. And with this hook, I literally just take this off, hook the new one on, and then we bought this style of hook from like Walmart, I think. And I just hook their food to it and do the same. So we fill these up prior to, we come down here and swap them out, and then we're on our way. And I can walk through here and not hit my head or anything like that. Since we put them in here in the winter, I did wrap this plastic on the backside, and I put a little heating lamp there. That way they stay warm enough for the winter. So let me give you the walk around of the exterior, and I will wrap this video up. That way you can see the time-lapse build. So again, A-frame style, I made sure that I cut these boards for the A-frame to be 8 foot before I found out the angles that I needed for them to rest on the base and to meet up and join at the top. That way you could buy these 8-foot panels, and I know that they would fit and have a little bit of overhang on the bottom. So when I get around here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And I just grabbed a metal ridge cap, and I made sure to get the screws that you need specific for these panels. They got like a rubber bushing in it, and it'll seal it up and keep it from leaking. So since these were 8 foot, it gave a little bit of overhang here. That way water can just run off and not get in the coop itself. But this is the coop overall. It's not perfect, again, because we didn't plan this build. We just did it in a day, threw the chicks in there, and that was it. So pretty easy, pretty simple. I'm sure there's plenty of these out there that you can replicate, and there maybe are plans on the market already. But just wanted to show you this and kind of give you our ideas and reasons for doing it and how we're operating on a daily basis. And maybe it'll be beneficial for you. So with that being said, we'll roll straight into the time-lapse build, and you can maybe find some humor along that process as well. Thank you for tuning in.